What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the show. I'm Mlb 2K13, and I hope everyone is staying warm out there. It's getting a little bit chilly, so hopefully you guys are bundled up in your hoodies. And again, you can buy Conejo hoodies if you want, and that way you can be the coolest kid in your room or whatever by yourself. Whatever. All right, so welcome back to the show. This is Morgan Freeman, obviously taking the stage as usual on the big league stage. The first outing was pretty good. I had a no-hitter into the 7th or 8th inning, I don't remember, which was amazing. I started off a little bit rough in terms of striking out people. I didn't strike that many people out, but I got the win. Now, hopefully, I can build on it against the Brewers, which is kind of funny. I kind of was wondering if Barry Livin would make an appearance here, but he didn't. So obviously, you know, whatever. That would be cool if the game did that, but it didn't. So we're going up against the Brewers in this one, and it's weird because I went so deep in the game in my previous start. My stamina in this game is actually low. So as you guys will see later on in the game, my pitches don't have that much on them. It's kind of hard to line up the circles when you're pitching, stuff like that, so I don't last that long in this game. But anyway, let's get into the topic that I'm going to be talking about, which is managers going into the Hall of Fame. Now, this is a hot topic right now because there seems to be a double standard when it comes to players who have allegedly taken steroids, who have admitted to taking steroids, and managers who are managing those players during those steroid periods. The two that I'm going to be talking about are Tony La Russa. Gosh, he was one of my favorite managers too. He still is. This is going to be a rough video for me. And Joe Torre. Now, these are two people who have had people on their teams, okay, who have taken steroids. The Mark McGuires, the Jason Giambis, the Jose Cansecos, the Andy Pettits. Yes, I put your name in there, bruh. The Alex Rodriguez's, the Roger Clemens. You know, those are the players that have taken steroids who have been on these managers' teams. Now, there's two sides of the coin, and I want you guys to write in the comments on this because this is a very, very sticky topic. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm just going to put my opinion out there. You guys can write your opinions down below. I like when you guys write your opinions down there. Keep those fingers typing. Okay, so let's talk about the two sides of the coin. Obviously, people can say, okay, so the manager didn't really know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. You know, the players were very good at hiding their drug use. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is they knew what was going on. They did not care. They liked the publicity that was coming to their team, and they liked winning. And at the end of the day, it helped them build their resume, which is now coming into fruition because they are potentially getting inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So, those are two sides of the coin. Where do I sit? Gosh, this is hard. Okay, let me say this first before I say something that I'm going to regret saying. I've never taken drugs before. I don't support that. I don't do that. Book clubs are a whole different issue. Inside joke. But I've never done drugs. I do have some friends who do the occasional marijuana or whatever. Now, this is a real video. Wow, it just got real in here. All right, so obviously we all have those friends. Okay. It's very easy to hide drug use. In a situation, whether you're at your house and you're in your room or you're in your basement or whatever, it's very easy to hide drug use to a certain extent. Now, when it starts to affect your schoolwork, when it starts to affect your lifestyles, then that's when it's very, very hard to hide. Even at your job, okay? You can smoke weed or do whatever you do outside of your job, but when it starts to affect your job, then that's when suspicion starts to arise. In baseball, it's very, very hard to approach someone and say, hey, so are you taking steroids? You look a little bit bigger this year. That's hard to do. As a manager, you should be able to do that, but at the same time, how do you approach it? You know, if I were in Tony La Russa's shoes and I walk in and I see, you know, Mark McGuire, who has been a pretty prolific hitter throughout his whole career, but he's getting bigger and this and that, and his head is just like going to enormous proportions and stuff. if I accuse someone who I know for that long, I knew him in Oakland, I now know him in St. Louis, and I go to him and I'm like, hey, so you seem a little bit bigger. Have you been injected something in your butt? That's not okay. And plus, that can create a whole type of lawsuit. So I understand why they wouldn't approach it to the player. You know, I mean, that's something that we have to take into account. But having said that, they should not be allowed into the Hall of Fame. They should get the same amount of treatment that, for example, Craig Biggio, who was one of my favorite players, gets. He has never, there's no shred of evidence that this guy is taking steroids. But because some bogus person said, hey, this guy took steroids, blah, 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 he is now on the blacklist of people that take steroids. I will be so pissed off if someone says that Roy Halladay has ever taken steroids and there is no evidence of it. It's different when there's evidence, okay? But I think that the managers have to be held accountable to some extent. Because when you're in a locker room and you see something going on and it's starting to affect your job, and in baseball it would affect their stats, their anger issues, their mood swings, whatever. And I can guarantee you that something had to get affected somehow. You have to be held accountable, okay? You have to be held accountable. When you have kids dying of overdoses and stuff like that, the parents have to be accountable. It's the same exact thing. Obviously, death isn't involved, but it's the same exact point. The person who is in charge has to be held accountable. So, in my opinion, Tony La Russa, yes, you're a great guy. You're a great manager. Joe Torre, you're a great guy. You're a great manager. But I don't think you guys should get in the Hall of Fame until we know exactly what you knew and what you let slide, because that is not okay, and you're feeding, you really were feeding into into this whole steroid era. But that's it. Leave comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Central time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, right here, Google Plus. Huge announcement. We'll be talking about a ton of stuff as well. So see you guys then. Mlb 5-0. I'm out.